morning and welcome back to my channel. To all the lovers out there, happy Valentine's Day, because today is Valentine's Day. It's about 10:30 in the morning on Valentine's Day. And to everybody else out here who's like me, single AF and loving it, not willing to give up that freedom for any reason whatsoever, happy Valentine's Day to you too. So today I got the new Marc Jacobs Shameless foundation to share with you guys. Like, I saw this foundation at Sephora and oh my god, I was waiting so long for it to drop, because even before it dropped, I was looking at the colors online, and it has 29 shades, and I'll give you a little bit more information later on in the video, but there are 29 shades, and I was reading the undertones for them, and so I picked up this shade, which is Tan Y440. I got it yesterday in the mail, but before I even got it, I started to get a little bit worried, because before the foundation even dropped, I looked online at Sephora.com at all the colors on there, and it's a pretty good range of colors, but when I first looked at this particular foundation, I was intrigued by it because, number one, I read the undertones and it said a golden peach undertone, which is me, so me. And then I looked at the picture on the website, and the model looked to be about my complexion, in fact, maybe a little bit darker. If I can find a picture, I'll insert it into the video so you can see what she looked like. But then after I placed the order for the foundation, I went back and I was watching videos, and I'll also insert those two pictures as well if I can find them. In both of the videos, she looked significantly lighter. So I was like, holy crap, this foundation is going to be too light for me. But yeah, I was just like, I hope it's lighting. I really, really hope it's lighting that's making her look that much lighter, because otherwise I'm screwed. I am so tired of returning foundations to Sephora. So I looked at it last night, but I didn't really play with it when I got it yesterday because I didn't want to. I really wanted this to be like a first impressions, and I'm also going to be doing a wear test as well. So I didn't want it to be, I didn't want to already know. So fingers crossed that this is a good shade. But I looked at the bottle last night, and so this is what the bottle looks like, and it's frosted, so you can't really see the color very well. So I'm hoping beyond hope that it's actually the right shade for me. We'll see. Might be a little bit too light. If it is a little bit too light, I have my powders and everything ready, even though this foundation, you know what, let me just read some of the claims before I even get into anything else. Medium, and it's suitable for sensitive, normal, dry, combination, and oily skin with a natural finish. Has SPF 25, and what it is an innovative medium buildable foundation with 24-hour wear, and first to market, flashback free, SPF 25. Okay, so this foundation comes in 29 shades. Apparently the shades are flexible, so I guess maybe this shade will match. We'll see. But there are 29 shades. There are 3 fair shades, 4 light shades, 10 medium shades, 7 tan shades, and 5 deep shades. And the deep shades are actually really deep shades. They start off like maybe a few shades above I Like Wek. If you don't know who that is, just Google her. But if I can, I will insert a picture of the first model wearing a deep shade so you can see just how deep the first deep shades go. And subjectively speaking, looking at the shades and looking at the models on the website, it seems as if a lot of the shades are very women of color friendly. The tan shades, some of the medium shades, because most of the tan shades are modeled by women of color. So yeah, and a few of the medium shades as well. This particular shade is a tan shade. Fingers crossed, like I said, that it works. I really like the packaging. It's really sleek. It stands up well, so storage shouldn't be too much of an issue, but it's really sleek. And you just kind of twist this off. Then you have a nice little spout. And then, oh, please. The foundation is a little bit runny, so that's the shade right there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be too light, but we'll see. I've already primed my face using my Makeup Forever Step 1 primer, so let's just go in. Yeah, I do believe this is going to be too light. Once again, that's Sephora's fault. Yep. Oh, or maybe not. It smells kind of like the Giorgio Armani Maestro foundation with it smells like the SPF in there. That makes it smell kind of chemically. I didn't color correct or anything because I don't really do that when I'm trying out a new foundation. I want to see how the foundation works on its own and how much it covers. This is supposed to be medium coverage, which is what I prefer in a foundation, so but yeah, I guess it really is flexible. But this is the thing that I was talking about, like when you get a foundation that has the right undertones, even if it's a little bit off in terms of shade, if the undertones are correct, it's still pretty workable. So this is obviously not going to cover all of my imperfections in the least, because medium coverage. But I probably should have color corrected around my mouth. But you know, hindsight is 20/20 and I'm blind as hell, so it's not really hard to work in, but it's not easy. It doesn't glide. I guess maybe because of the finish, because it's supposed to dry down to like a powder. It doesn't glide over the skin. Alright, so here's one side of my face with the foundation, and then here's the other side. Alright, now let's just go in. I'm going to use another pump for the other side. It feels really nice and light on the skin also, by the way. This side of my face is darker than this side, so it should be interesting to see if it blends in well on this side. Some things tend to blend in better on this side of my face than the other side. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, it's blending pretty well. I'm still going to use a bronzer. There you have it. I'm looking at it on camera and it looks perfect, but I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's because of my lighting. I'm looking at it in the mirror and it just looks not exactly ashy, but a little bit off. It might just be my lighting. I think it probably is my lighting. I'll look at it when I go downstairs in better lighting, and when I go downstairs to take a picture with flash, just to make sure that it, wonder if I could take this down my neck. Yep, I can. So this is basically what the foundation looks like with two pumps, one pump for this side of the face and then another pump for this side of my face. I'm gonna finish doing my face, whatever it is that I'm doing to it. I'm not really sure what else I'm gonna do. I'm probably just gonna I'm probably just going to put on some bronzer to put a little bit of dimension. I'm probably just going to bronze the perimeter of my face to put a little bit of dimension back into my face, because this foundation is kind of perfecting and it kind of makes the complexion a little bit flat. So yeah, I'll be right back with that. Okay guys, so here's what happened. I filmed my initial application of the foundation, and then I went on to film another video with a blush and highlighter combo, but the blush and highlighter combo disturbed the foundation, and I didn't like what it did, and I felt like it wasn't giving me a true representation of what the foundation looked like, because it was a cream blush, so it kind of shifted everything. And then about 5 minutes ago, I got a new order from Sephora. I had placed an order after I did the foundation order for the new, give me some new lip kit from Sephora. And when I had placed the order, they had been giving out samples of the Marc Jacobs foundation as well, and I placed it after I realized that the foundation might be a little bit too light. So I placed the order and I got a sample of a darker shade. Now I knew from the sample and from looking at the pictures that the darker shade was going to be too dark, but I figured if this one was too light, I could mix both of them. This one came and it is in fact too dark, and the undertone is a little bit off, it looks like. That right there. Yeah, so it's a little bit too dark, and the undertone, well, it's more than a little bit too dark, but the undertone is also off. So what I'm going to do, even though I feel like this one is a pretty good shade, I took pictures in the light outside and the shades seem to be right, but I kind of want to mix them together to see if I can get it a better shade. My shade, which is Y440. And I'm just going to mix it with this one, which is deep Y500. And it looks like that. So it is much darker than the one that I have. That's what I've got so far. So let's see. I really don't know why my lighting is fluctuating right now. It's really kind of annoying. I didn't really want to build it before because I felt like maybe it was a little bit too light and it wouldn't look good built. But I feel like with the addition of this darker shade in there, it gives me more wiggle room to build. Now we're going to try to build. Even though this foundation is a self-setting foundation and it dries to a powder finish, it does give you enough time to work in the foundation. It doesn't dry all at once, so you do have some time. I feel like this is a much better application than the first one. So that's 2 pumps. Well, I guess kind of like 4 because one of each mixed. Let me just do my under eyes again real quick and put some powder blush on this time. And I'll be right back. So this is the final look, and like I said, I do actually prefer the color that I get from mixing the 2 foundations together. I could probably return this and get the shade, 1 shade darker, which is I think 440 or 450, but the undertones won't be quite right. I don't think I'm actually going to return 440. I think I'll keep using it if after the wear test that I do today it performs well. I think I'll just keep using it and mix it with 500 because I like the color that is resultant from mixing the 2 of them. and I'm not spending $48 because this foundation is $48 for 1.08 ounces. I'm not spending $48 for another foundation to mix. Honestly though, like, I don't necessarily need to mix it because I went outside and I took pictures, and I'll insert the pictures at the end of the video, but I went outside and I took pictures and it's perfect. My only issue, and it's not even an issue, it's just me being, I guess, paranoid. I was afraid to build it because I thought it would start to look kind of whitish, but also because I do prefer to be a little bit darker. When my foundation matches, to me, it's a little bit darker than I am. So this is good. It looks like the right color on camera right now, but in reality it is a little bit darker than my chest. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit darker than my chest, but I'm okay with that. I'm here for shiny metallic lips. Yeah, that's cute. Am I gonna go out like this? Probably not. However, no, I think I'm actually gonna go out like this. This is kind of banging. Okay, so final look on the face. I am gonna do a wear test on the foundation. Like I said, I have errands to run, stuff to do, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna come back later and we're gonna talk about how it performed, the longevity, whether or not shit is slipping and sliding across my face. This foundation is supposed to be for people with combination oily skin, which is why it dries to a powder finish. It would have been nice if I were able to use powder with it, because I do like the powder, and sometimes you need to use powder to correct things on your face, so that's kind of a limitation of it. But I did bronze the perimeters of my face, which is something that I always do. So yeah, I'm gonna run out right now and come back a little bit later. It is now 12:30. I'm gonna come back a little bit later and let you know how everything went. So I'll see you then. Okay guys, I'm back and I have thoughts. It is 11:46 right now. I've been wearing this foundation since I think it was 12:30 today. Let's see, I ran errands. What else did I do? I ran errands, I wrote pretty much all day, then I had dinner with a friend at around, I want to say 9:30, and then I've been home since probably about 10:45 or 11. As you can see, my hair's gone through changes. I lost my earring, my blush is pretty much gone, but the foundation is still here. It's faded quite a bit. My hyperpigmentation marks are on blast again. But yeah, this is what my face looks like after. You guys know I can't count, so however many hours that happened to be, this is my face as it looks. Now, if you remember, the first application I just did 440, and then the second application that I did, I mixed 440 Y with 500 Y, and I have thoughts on that. I took pictures of 440 Y in natural sunlight and with flash. There was absolutely no flashback, so the claims that there is no flashback is true. I did it indoors and outdoors, and literally there is absolutely no flashback, so yay for that. And then when I mixed the two foundations, I did go outside again. I took pictures once again in natural sunlight and with flash. Once again, still no flashback. However, here's the thing that I realized about mixing both foundations, which is probably why I'm not going to do it again. I looked at the picture of 440 and 500 Y mixed together. I did have a lot more coverage because, like I said, I built it up because I wasn't afraid of the color anymore. So I did have a lot more coverage. It did look like full coverage. It looked less like medium coverage and more like full. But because 500 Y has golden undertones and not peachy golden undertones, I looked really yellow, and that on me looks very unnatural. So I don't think that I'm going to mix the two colors together anymore. The next time I wear it, I'm just gonna wear 440Y and mix it, and not mix it. I'm just gonna wear 440Y and try to build it up and hope, fingers crossed, that it looks, you know, as natural as it did when I mixed both of them together. Now, as for the claims of the foundation, I can't remember exactly what the claims are. I think the only thing that they claimed was that it was 24-hour wear, light, breathable. It is light, it's very breathable, it's very, very comfortable on the skin. Like, I still can't feel it on my skin after all these hours, and when I first put it on, I couldn't feel it either. So it is really light, and it is very breathable. What else? Oh, one thing that I did do when I reapplied the foundation, when I mixed them, is I had been previously using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Primer in Caramel for all my foundations, but for whatever reason, when I use it with peachy undertone foundations, it does not act right. So I've been using more and more my Black Up Strobing Primer. So when I did do the reapplication earlier, I did use the Black Up Strobing Primer instead of the Makeup Forever Step 1 Primer. So which is why my face does kind of have a little bit of a glow to it because of that primer. Yeah, my hyperpigmentation peeked out. Okay, so this foundation does nothing for texture. If you have texture, it's going to show the texture. I did also find out, though, when I did the reapplication, that you can actually powder it. It says that it's a self-setting powder, which is fine, and it is a self-setting powder. You don't necessarily need to put powder on it, but unlike my Fenty foundation, when I try to powder my Fenty foundation, it looks horrible. When I did powder this, because I used a bronzer all over my face. I like to be dark, y'all. So I used the bronzer all over my face, and it didn't look cakey at all. Nothing whatsoever. It just looked totally fine and natural. So you can use powder with this foundation if you so desire. You don't have to, but you can. Final thing, I think, I hope I'm remembering everything. I am so scattered all the time. Final thing. Oh, final thing, no transfer. Absolutely no transfer whatsoever. Like I said, I did powder, but I powdered later on. I probably powdered about, I want to say maybe 2.5. I walk around with bronzer, y'all. Don't judge me. I probably powdered about 2.5 hours into wearing the foundation. I don't remember why exactly I powdered. I think I went in somewhere and I was just like, no, I need to look a little bit more brown, bronzy. So I whipped out the bronzer, slapped it all over my face, and it was good to go. But yeah, absolutely no transfer in the 2.5 hours before that I was wearing it, none whatsoever. And I'm a face toucher. How do I feel about this foundation? I like it. Did it excite me the way the Dior one did? Not really. Like, I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with this foundation. It's decent coverage. It feels good. It lasts for a while. I love the fact that in my shade there's a peachy gold undertone, because that is not easy to find in my shade or darker. Usually it's yellow or red, so I'm here for that. It makes it a lot easier to apply and to actually, you know, feel confident in your foundation when you have the exact right undertones. The one thing that I could do without, and this probably has less to do with the foundation and more to do with my skin, because lately my skin has been super dry, and I haven't been quite as diligent as I should be in keeping up with my skincare routine, simply because I haven't really been going to work. And I did have some trouble, I don't know if you guys saw earlier today, I had some trouble applying the foundation on this side of my face. It kind of hitched over here a little bit, and I was having a really hard time blending it out. I was also having a really hard time getting it to stay on my cheek right here for whatever reason. So I did have some trouble with that. I'm not sure if that has to do with the finish of the foundation or the dryness of my skin at this moment in time. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's probably my skin, because I didn't have any trouble working the foundation in on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and attribute it to my dry skin right now. So that's honestly really the only issue that I had with this foundation. yeah, other than that little hitch today, and, you know, my paranoia about building it, that's really the only problem that I had with this foundation. So would I recommend this foundation? Definitely. It is $48. You get 1.08 ounces for $48. It comes in 29 shades, and there are a lot of shades for women of color. Decent range, and I think the shades are pretty flexible. I think they're going to be pretty flexible, so unless you're looking for like a specific undertone like I am, you know, with the peachy golden undertone, unless you're looking for something very, very specific like that, you should be able to find something for yourself. So is it worth it? I think it might be. If you're thinking about trying it, go ahead and do that. Thanks for watching. As usual, I hope that my review provided some help if you were still trying to decide whether or not to get this new Marc Jacobs Shameless Youthful Foundation. If I forgot anything at all, just ask me in the description. No, not the description box. Seriously, I need to go to sleep. If I left anything out and you have questions, ask me in the comments below and I will try to answer. But as usual, it's been real, it's been fun, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.